Laura, Eli, thank you for being on. We've got Kristen and Esmeralda. So, guys, thanks so much. We are going to dive into it. As you know, we've got people that kind of pop in at the 11th hour, but this is also live streamed and it's recorded. We'd love some feedback. And if you know of anybody that you'd love to have speak on Empower, we are booking out for 2025. And a really important thing to note is that we are now approved as a cultural credit for EXP. So if you're an Icon agent and you want to take advantage of being able to collaborate and connect with other agents, you can come on, speak on Empower, and that will count as some of your cultural points. So I would love to introduce you to Cliff. Cliff, take it away.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Oh, this is close.
Can everybody see my presentation?
Yeah.
Yep, we can see you.
Okay. Hey, Anna, I think you're logged in on two phones, or someone's logged in on, I can hear an echo.
We got it. We got Melissa. It was Melissa. We got her muted. So you're good to go. Rock and roll.
Alrighty. All right, guys. Well, I want to first just thank Anna and Allison for allowing me to speak with you guys this morning. I'm super excited. And I see some familiar faces from a couple of weeks ago in Miami. So one, I'm proud of you guys for taking steps to continue to help build your business and plug into our EXP community. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I want to start with a little, get everyone kind of awake. I know I'm keeping up with the three of our energy can be a lot at the brisk hour of 8:30 in the morning. So I'm going to start with a little two truths and a lie about myself. And okay, party. So I'm going to do two truths and a lie. What I want you guys to do is I want you to drop what you think the lie may be in the chat. So first, born and raised in Wisconsin. I am a dog dad to an Irish setter, and I started my career in commercial real estate. So I'm going to give you guys just a couple seconds to drop some things in the chat.
I don't know.
I feel like you guys might know me.
Oh, I'm not sure. It's between 1 and 3, I think. What do we win? Oh, we win a really great 30-minute session on mindset with you.
Uh-huh. And look at you guys are all going to be winners, so it doesn't even matter. Okay. So if you guessed number one, you're wrong. So I actually started in property management for 1 year and I hated it. And there is my sweet boy Henry. He was a rescue, an Irish setter rescue. And I am from Wisconsin. Don't make me say the word that you put your groceries in when you leave the store, because I'm not going to do it. But yeah, so I wanted to, so that's amazing. You guys, most of you guys know that fun fact, I've never done a commercial deal. I do have a desire to kind of dabble in that in the next year or so. So I'm kind of excited about that. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to kind of, again, I want this to be interactive with you guys. So feel free if you have questions or comments. I'm going to be asking some questions as well. I want you guys to get involved and kind of work through this with me. So I'm going to start with that I think mindset is a lie. And I know that's a little bit of a bold kind of take on that, or mindset is a myth, I'm sorry. So really, when we think of mindset, we're thinking of a stagnant kind of notion. So if I'm in the mirror in the morning and I'm saying the same affirmations over and over, or I have a growth mindset, which the mindset is not a bad thing to have, but working with clients or on a day-to-day basis as situations come up, I want you guys to kind of pivot or take a moment to think about how you can kind of pivot those the feelings that you have and the thoughts that are going on in your brain. So really mindset is going to be that belief system. It's stationary. You're kind of working towards one thing. You have one thing in mind. And I think too, it's important to kind of talk about, so we have I'm going to get a little bit scientific here today, which I'm not a doctor or anything like that. So this is a little bit new territory for me, but it was just really a lot of interesting things that this is a lot coming from EXPCon. So I'm excited to kind of bring that back too. But the front of your brain can tell, or the back of your brain, I'm sorry, can tell when the front of your brain is lying. So if I'm standing in the mirror and I'm saying my affirmations, and I want to maybe drop a thumbs up or just drop a comment in the chat box if you've been saying these, you're getting ready for a listing appointment and you're saying your affirmations, or you're just getting ready for the and you're saying your affirmations, but you're really not feeling that great. And you're thinking, did I just tell a lie? Right? Or am I an imposter? Do I have imposter syndrome? Has anyone ever felt that? Right? So whether we're trying to get, or if you're going, if you started as a buyer's agent and you're about to go take your first listing, which is a really great move. But that may be, you may have some thoughts going on in your head where, I'm the top listing agent in my area when maybe you're really not yet, but you are, but you're just not there quite yet. You can start to feel like, hey, maybe I'm telling a little bit of a fib. So I want to focus on a mind shift. So those are going to be active changes in that moment, right? So if I'm getting ready for an appointment, I'm getting ready to sit down, especially where all the NAR changes going on this year, we're all kind of starting at zero in the sense of we had to rework the process of working with buyers, working with sellers, the conversations that we were having. So I think it's doing a mind shift versus just keeping that stagnant mindset can help you on a day-to-day, right? So we can still have I have a growth mindset, right? So I'm continuing to grow on a daily basis, but on days where I'm having a little bit of anxiety about something, or I have a fear of something, just doing a little pivot in what I'm talking to myself about, or what that internal dialogue is happening, can really help you push forward. So the active change and a belief in that moment, it's a pivot in a positive direction. And then letting go of the uncontrollable. And I'm going to talk a little bit about fear and what that looks like, and how to navigate that. And this really amazing stock photo that I found on Canva. So when you think of mindset, you guys think about affirmations. So my clients love me. They will list with me. These clients are happy. But really, if you can just make a slight pivot in what you're thinking, because one, do we know if these clients love you yet? No, right? I can't control that. But what I can do is I'm going to show my value to them so they will love me, right? They will list with me. You can't force anyone to list with you, unfortunately, right? Otherwise, we would have all the listings in the entire world. But what I can do is I can use my sales skills to encourage a successful listing appointment with them so they will list with me. They're happy. I don't know what I'm walking into sometimes, right? So if you have clients that you have a seller that comes in, or a buyer, whatever that looks like, we don't know their situation. So are they getting a divorce? Are they selling a parent, like a family home of a deceased relative? We really have to navigate that on a different basis. But what I can do is I'm going to find a solution to their needs so that I can get that outcome that I'm looking for. So just little kind of pivots on your day-to-day before going into something, I think one will help calm those nerves down and have you being able to walk into that appointment just with a little bit less of trusting the process of it versus just relying on any sort of outcome that you're expecting.
Do you feel
yes.
like, I mean, I think for people listening, I know for me, like I journal and I say affirmations, right? But I think kind of the point of this too, and I would love to know your best practices, is like, are we saying like you should write these things down? You should speak them out loud. Like, what is the actual like practice of this?
Yeah, so I think it looks different. So like for my sake, or I guess like personally with me, is like I will say affirmations in the morning, like personal affirmations. And those are like post-it notes on my bathroom mirror. So I think whatever works for, because I also get kind of like weird, like I can't sit and be like, I am beautiful. I am, like, so I can't sit and like verbalize it. I just like, I know, like, I don't necessarily think I'm lying, but like, I feel like that's where like I kind of draw the line. So if it's journaling for you, or if it's writing it down on a post-it and putting it on the mirror, I know like some people like will write their affirmations like in the fog of the glass shower. So just so it's there, and then it will come back the next day when you shower. So I think whatever feels comfortable for you. That's the biggest thing, because I think, especially just speaking to affirmation, speaking to mindset, everybody, it looks different for everybody. And I think that's important to know. So what I'm doing may be different than what Anna's doing, and that's okay. I think, but as long as you're doing that, that's fine. Because I think mindset and a mind shift, those are huge for your personal life and for your business. Just because sometimes you're not going to have, like, thankfully, we're inside this group right now that we have all these people rooting for us and, kind of pushing us forward. But there's going to be, like, is Allison going to be at your house in the morning before your listing appointment? No. Right? Is she a phone call away? Absolutely. Is Anna going to be there? Am I going to be there? No. But so sometimes you need to, I do too. I wish she was too. But you're going to need to kind of be able to get yourself in the zone. And I think that's kind of what my point about that is.
Yeah, Cliff, I was just gonna say, I feel like I don't have to find a time in the morning to like chant them or whatever. Like, I just feel like because I'm plugged into my community of agents and our team and Leanna and you and Allison, like I get to have conversations about what's important all the time. So I mean, yesterday we were like having a very passionate conversation about like how like money is easy to come by and investing is an easy process to get into. So like if you're on this call and you're not tapped into a community where you can talk about these things openly every day, like call me, like let's talk about it during the day, because I find that's my way of doing it. It's just like communicating it to others throughout the day.
Well, I think, and just to that point, is just with this community that that you guys have built, it's just, just for agents that weren't at EXPCon, I just met Allison in person 2 weeks ago, and I feel like I've known her for years. It's just really that and I'm going to talk about being authentic and just being your true self, but we're all just kind of like freaks, and it's fun, and that's energy building, and it's huge because it's, especially right now, I think we're in a really pivotal time in real estate, just with the market and wherever we're headed to in 2025. So I think just whatever you can do to keep that mindset up, whether that's yourself or that's leaning into others in your community. But if you, like what Anna said, if you do not have a community to lean into, you need to find one, because it'll change your business and it'll change your life. I want to do a little just quick activity. So if you guys could just throw in the chat, share a limiting belief that you have that holds you back in your business, or something that you if you're about to walk into an appointment, a comment that a thought that may go through your brain that holds you back.
I mean,
Okay, I'm gonna pick on Laura's comment. So can I do this? So that here's the first part. So if you're about to walk into a listing appointment and you're saying, can I do this? You already did it, right? So you already have that appointment. So what I talk to my team a lot about this is just focusing on what I can control. So like if out of these three things, so I have the appointment, but I do not have the listing yet, and I'm heading to the appointment and I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out, is I'm gonna focus on that I have the appointment and I'm going to that appointment. So they're the only things I can control in that situation. But that's the biggest thing, is just you can do it. So I'm going to use the tools that I have, whether you're on a team or you're an indie agent, using the tools that I have to speak my value, to talk to these buyers or sellers or whatever meeting I'm walking into. But really the biggest thing, because it's kind of a little bit more general, but you have that appointment, so you can do it. You already did like the a big step with that. So you're already getting yourself in the door with them. We don't have enough leads.
Yeah, I feel that too, Anna. Like from a team leader standpoint, like if you're having a team leader standpoint, because your first question was like, just give us an affirmation.
Yeah.
And I understand that too. It's like, well, I don't have enough leads to run this team. Like I'm not doing enough for my team. And so we put it in our heads that we don't have enough, and we come from that like scarcity mindset sometimes as leaders,
So yeah, so this is a truth that happened with my team earlier this year. We were with Boomtown, and there was a like ransomware attack or something. I don't know what happened. But our CRM was down for 2 months. And
we feel your pain.
Yeah, I slept probably 2 hours in 2 months. But the thing is I also still had a database of 100,000 people, which we can't all speak to that. But if there's 20 leads that haven't been converted, or there's 100,000, it was like I had to do a mind shift of like, stop getting mad at Boomtown. Well, just like stay mad at Boomtown, but stop getting mad at that. But focus on the 20 leads I haven't converted yet. And and then just speaking as a team leader and down to team members where I'm not getting enough leads. Well, let's look at your database, and you have X amount of non-converted leads. You have these are still leads that can be converted. But I think that the pressure of being able to perform as a leader, because now you're speaking not only for yourself and your income, but you're speaking essentially for your team members' income as well, and their livelihood. You're taking that responsibility on. But I think if situationally, like what I just spoke about, because that was like I thought it was my world was over, and thankfully pushed through and we killed Boomtown. But I think just like that, if you have 20 leads or you have 100,000 leads that have not been converted yet, that's your database, and you run towards that and you get more business from it. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Okay, so I want to kind of go back into who has gotten nervous before an appointment, or just in general. You're about to walk into something and you're a little bit nervous about it. And I always get a little nerves before anytime I speak, even when I don't know if it's excitement or whatever, before I'm going into my team huddle or my sales meeting. So this is where another part of where I'm talking about that I think mindset is a myth, and where if I'm telling my brain, okay, I need to calm down, or I'm going to do really well at this is going to happen, only about 80% of our what goes on in our brain, it's coming from our body, right? So, and then the other way around is 20% is telling our body to calm down. So I want to just talk a little bit. This is where I'm going to get, I feel like this is a little bit out of my scope, but I just learned about it and it was really exciting, because I'm one to, if I'm like nervous about something, or if I have a fear of something, I'm like in my head talking, I'm like thinking about it. And I want to talk a little bit about your vagus nerve, and how that can relate to calming down and relieving some of that stress, and being able to walk into an appointment or walk into your day, if you're just have general anxiety, or being able to just kind of relieve that a little bit. So our biggest thing, so if like you're doing breathing exercises, any audible kind of sense, right? So if I'm taking a deep breath and I'm like letting it out, will help calm down your nerves. So your adrenal glands, that's what's releasing the cortisol, making you nervous, giving you that stress. So by doing breathing exercises, taking a cold shower, I take a cold shower every morning. Not the whole time, but at the end, I take a cold shower. just kind of wake my body up, get ready for the day, make some noise. So if you've got to go and sing, you're outside, let like a little yell out. I don't know what you got to do, but get your voice going. It'll help calm you down. Meditation and mindfulness, right? So if you need to sit down, just relax and kind of sit with yourself to help calm down. And then physical movement. So I'm notorious, I know around my office, I am just I walk around pretty much all day. It's really hard for me to sit at a desk. And so a lot of times I'm answering emails on my phone, kind of just running around the office, which just helps me stay moving, but also I'm able to just kind of stay calm and, rock through the day. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about your vagus nerve and then what this means for fear and anxiety going into an appointment, or because we all feel that whether you've been in the business for a year or you've been in the business for 20 years, there's always going to be some sort of a nervousness or a little bit of anxiety. And it could be like an exciting anxiety that you may have going into an appointment, knowing that you're going to crush it. But it's really important that you, one, address that it's there, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But I heard a quote a couple weeks ago, and it was, you either go with your fear or your fear goes with you. When I first heard that, I'm like, the fear is still there. So what did that do for me? It's still there, and you want it gone. But the reason we have fear is it's kind of trying to protect us from either getting hurt or something trying to harm us. So it's our body's reaction to being hurt, being harmed, whatever that looks like. But it's one, if you have fear going into a listing appointment, or you have fear you're going into your first buyer presentation post NAR, which I'm so sick of saying the word, but it's just reality. One, it's really important just to acknowledge that it's there and accept that it's there, right? So if I'm good with that, I want to have those feelings. Everything kind of happens for a reason. You're moving with that. So one, acknowledge that the fear is there, assess what that is. So whenever if I have a listing appointment or any sort of engagement that I may have fear with or have anxiety with, I'm going to kind of go back. I'm going to bring it back to, okay, why am I doing this today? So why am I on this call with you guys today? What is this doing for me? How will this, move me forward, move my business forward? And bring it back to your why. So kind of recenter yourself on what you're doing. Why did I become a real estate agent? Why did I jump into luxury listings? Why is that important for me? What will this do? What will this affect? How will this affect my life? How will this affect my income? And bring that back. And then, so after you're done assessing it, move forward. I say, just put it in the passenger seat next to you and keep driving. As long as that fear is not driving, you're good. And that's where I had to kind of think about, so either you go with your fear or your fear goes with you. The fear is going to be there, and it's good that it's there, but just assess it, put it in the passenger seat, and keep on rolling.
This therapy, Cliff, by the way.
It's crazy. I just got EXP University just is giving out therapist certifications now. So
I love it.
Okay, so you guys are probably like, how is this going to help my business? So I want to talk about turning mindset into action. And I want to know this, and if you're a team leader, if there's team members on this team, I'm talking to you right now. Who's hitting their daily call goals and their daily appointment goals? Put a thumbs up in the chat.
In the chat, Allison.
Yeah. I know Anna's hitting all of her call goals. So if you're not like the general population of realtors, this is a safe space. But so I just had this conversation. I'll talk about a conversation I just had with one of my agents yesterday. So he has everything is getting thrown at him right now. He had a rental property that somebody like destroyed and vacated. His Raleigh's, and maybe it's just a North Carolina thing. I don't know. Again, it's in Wisconsin. His daughter goes to a school that's like in 3 cities over, and the bus cancels all the time. So it's like everything is just kind of hitting him right now. And he wasn't hitting his daily conversation goals, his appointment goals. He really it all kind of crumbled. So I did a bit of like a recentering meeting with him and just talked about one. So let's start small, right? So if I would much rather have you guys, I would same thing with myself and with my agents are hitting small goals and building up to a larger goal than consistently not hitting a goal that like a 20 conversations a day, which is your key to making a lot of money in real estate, if not more conversations. But if I would rather see an agent hitting 5 conversations a day consistently, than moving it up to 10, moving up 15, going up to 20. So focusing on daily tasks, making a few calls. If you're new into prospecting, if you're new on a team, you're getting that guidance. But if you're an indie agent coming into real estate, find something that you can do on a daily basis that you're gonna hit consistently. So whether it's like I'm gonna have 10 conversations today, I'm gonna have 2 conversations today to get started with hitting those goals, and then just raising that bar as you progress, but staying consistent with it. So if you're anything that you do, so if you could do something half-assed, you may not be the best at it, but if you're doing it every single day, you're going to see results from it, and then you'll naturally get better. So when I'm speaking to, so I talk about like with video, who'd actually raise a hand, who on here is really good about doing videos? So whether that's to your clients or to your social media. So Anna, I can't tell.
I'm Anna 2. She's Anna 1.
Oh.
So she crushes video.
I'm the Anna that's good at video.
I was like, she's talking to herself again. So, okay. So for those of you who are not doing video, I would kind of want to hear what's holding you back a little bit. And if it's perfection, keep it moving. Get on the video because you're not going to be perfect. Prior to, honestly, I will not blame. I'm actually going to give credit to Marty because Marty does video and she is consistent. She's been doing the same weekly webinar for like 5 years, if not more, every Thursday. I did not, before I started with her team and started with EXP, I never did video. And I remember the first like 10 times I would turn a beet red, like I'd break out in hives, and it was embarrassing and I hated it. But I heard someone say, you look how you look and you sound how you sound, and just get it out. So if someone who does a consistent video to clients, right? So all of my agents, the moment that lead comes in, we're sending a video text to that lead, just so they can put a face to the name. So it's not just, it doesn't look like it's like a robot reaching out. So we want to make sure that we get our faces in front of them. But if you're doing consistently quick videos, or maybe not professional setup, whatever, you're going to outperform somebody who does one professional video when they feel like doing it. So I want you guys just kind of keep that in mind about consistency. So anything that you're doing on a consistent basis, you're going to see results from it. And then lastly, just be yourself. So I think the biggest thing is when I'm meeting with clients, or if I'm talking to agents, whatever that looks like, I want to be my authentic self, because whether what I look like in that listing appointment, if I'm putting a show on, the next time I see you, because now I know you, I'm going to be my authentic self. So I don't want it to be a flip up, right? And you're going to clients are going to gravitate towards that. If they see an agent come in and they're just putting on some sort of show. We've all met those kind of agents. And it just doesn't leave a feel good moment after. So like even agent to agent, which is going to be huge. Those relationships that you're building with other agents in your community is huge right now. So just making sure that you're just staying true to yourself. It'll attract clients for you. It's going to attract the people that you want to work with to you. And that's just the biggest thing. So just getting started is just start small, stay consistent, and be yourself, and let it ride. And then lastly, I think, and I was thinking about business building with my team. I was having a little bit of, because I think this year was a bit of a weird year. I mean, it was definitely, better than last year. It's not as, but then we also were thrown another thing this year, and then we had the election, and everything kind of was a bit of like a snowball. Like I felt like it was kind of all over the place. So I had a little bit of trouble kind of figuring out like business building for the team for next year. And I still think it's true. It's just back to the basics of real estate. So if you're having a conversion problem or you're having a transaction problem, have more conversations. Have more conversations, talk to more people, because it will literally solve all of your problems as a real estate agent. The more activity in your CRM, the larger your bank account. And that's just the reality of it. There's no easy shortcuts right now. There's no easy button. And then being relational over transactional, I think previously over the past few years, especially we'll say leaving COVID, going out of that, it was very transactional. We were ripping and running. Anybody could list a house. Anybody could open a door. People were writing contracts for absurd amounts, over list priced. So we kind of lost that feeling. We lost that personal touch, that client relation area of real estate, which that's where I get my excitement from. And I believe a lot of agents get that excitement. We obviously want to transact with these people. But if it's just transactional, I can get a door opener anywhere, right? Or I can get a limited service listing firm anywhere. And then showing your value. So when I'm going in and I'm having a conversation, so a buyer presentation or a listing presentation. One, I want to listen to what their needs are, what they're looking to get out of, what's their end goal. And then I'm pivoting my conversation to that. So if I'm speaking with, maybe I'm doing circle calling for expired listings. It's a really great opportunity to lean into someone else's fault, right? So if their last agent didn't communicate, or they pretty much listed it and bounced and let the market, the sign or the 3 Ps listing agent. And I can lean into that where what my communication skills are, or if they said that their last buyer's agent just kind of let them fold, and talk about my negotiation skills and what my wins have been with previous clients. Because that's really what it's going to come down to, is really that when you're at that listing appointment, what sets you apart from ABC agent. Because at a baseline, we all offer the same service, but what's gonna elevate you further? What does that look like? So if your firm offers, so I know my team really, really leans into office exclusive, and I know Anna's team does that as well. We lean into a program that literally no other firm in our area offers. And the other largest firm that offers it in our area, we do it 350. We have 350% more inventory than them. So that's really sets us apart. Now let's talk about if Anna and I we're in the same firm, we again literally can offer the same things. What's going to set myself apart from Anna? And again, bringing it back to being yourself, I'm also a true believer in, if we're not a good fit, like client to agent to client, I'm good with that. And there's going to be sellers that, again, at a baseline, Anna and I can offer the same the same things. But if Anna's vibe is more that's their speed, they're gonna gravitate towards Anna. But if they're more my speed, they're gonna gravitate towards me. So really, what does that look like for you? And I think that's gonna be that authenticity as an agent. It's going to be you showing your value. So what does your firm offer? What do you offer as an agent? What does your group offer? That's another huge thing. I love, again, I'm going to talk back to just office exclusives for just a second, because if you're in EXP, you're not utilizing that, you're missing out on a huge, huge opportunity to capture more listings. But I get to plug into the top agents in my area. In my area, 6 of the top 10 teams are all in EXP. So I get to have the people that are doing 80% of the business show my listings. So we get to leverage that within our organization. So having more conversations, being relational, do not just walk in with that commission breath. If you say what you're going to do and you do it well, you'll get paid and you'll get to that closing table. But just being a human and showing your value to them and what sets you apart. And I believe now this is where you guys can all follow me on Instagram.
Cliff, this is a great job, buddy.
Thank you.
I feel so inspired. In fact, I'm sitting here with a call list. Spoiler alert, it's agents, but still call list.
Yeah. I thank you guys. I want to open it up if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, what questions do we have? Takeaways, ahas, something to share. Safe space, collaborative space.
I think just recognizing the fear, and I'm gonna say like putting it to the side and not letting it like take you over. So recognizing and knowing it's there and moving on.
If you have never read, I don't know which chapter it is, but in is it Leaders Eat Last, or is it, I think it's Leaders Eat Last. Is that where, Cliff, you probably know, where Simon Sinek goes into a long conversation on just the drugs, right? Like the dopamine,
Yes, yeah,
the cortisol, all the things. I think it's chapter 6. I'm pretty sure it's chapter 6. So if you haven't read Leaders Eat Last, you should read the whole thing. But if nothing else, go dive really deep into chapter 6, because it really does explain to you what your brain is doing to you at any given time, and why we should not make decisions when some of those things are entering our body. So one of my favorite sayings is, don't make long-term decisions on short-term discomfort. And that came from, because I know sometimes my brain is literally telling my body, like, you're in danger, right? Or there's adrenaline, like, push through, you're good. And sometimes I have to think, okay, but like logically, like, what's actually going on here, and trusting myself. So really understanding that will take down some of that barrier. So chapter 6, I'm pretty sure Leaders Eat Last will go through that. If you have never done that, I would read it.
Another thing too, which I always do this, like, it was mainly like during like speaking stuff, but I'll keep a drink with me. I don't care if I'm at a listening table. I don't care where, not a drink. I'll keep like a water or a coffee. I would, it would be a little bit more fun. But when when you're in that fear, you're in that like kind of fight or flight mode, just having like a drink of water, it like tells your body, I'm safe, right? Like I'm good. I can drink. Because like if I'm fighting for my life, if I'm getting chased by Anna through the woods and she has a knife, am I gonna stop for a drink of water? No, I'm gonna run. But if I'm at an appointment, or I'm, whatever that I'm feeling nervous or I have anxiety about, and I just stop and take a drink of water, it'll tell your body that you're safe. You can keep it moving. That's just another little. Are there any more comments or questions? This is really fun. I thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think for me, I will overthink things so much, and
I'm so in my head that I will talk myself out of doing the hard things. And then I feel like I can't be myself because it feels so foreign. Like when I'm making cold calls, I feel so not myself because I'm not comfortable doing it. And I will talk myself out of it.
So I feel this, I think with, especially with prospecting, I think that's like on a daily, that's where a lot of people find that anxiety, their nerves with that. And I call out of our database every single day. So I do it in the morning, I'm going to do it right after I go through this call, and then I'll do it again in the afternoon. And I always, that first call, always like I want to throw up because I don't know what is about to happen. I don't know who the first, like, are they going to ruin my morning? But like, and it always is that. It's never somebody who's excited to talk to me, the first call. So I just take it and I acknowledge that that happened because it's like, it also doesn't feel good, right? So if someone calls you and they are either being like delusional that they never registered, or they, you know, whatever that looks like, and you're trying to break through with those objections, or if you're just cold calling, acknowledge that that happened and you move on. But now you, like, at least you kind of just got it out of that way and that first call is done, and then you just push forward. And like keeping, I will say, like, if you're using scripts, keep it right in front of you. Don't try to like deviate from it. Just roll with what you have. You're going to sound funky at first if you're new to using that script, but once you can kind of internalize it, that's where it will flip into dialogue and not you reading off of a piece of paper or off your screen.
Yeah. No, totally. And I think last week, or yeah, it was last week, I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm like rolling with it. 10 calls in. This guy tells me to go F myself and was just so rude. And it just completely just took my confidence away. I'm like, oh, okay. Well,
So
cool.
this is, they're just declining a business transaction. They don't know you. They don't care.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like I just treat it as a game because, like, how many no's can I get, right? Can I collect all the no's? Because the more no's I collect, the more yeses I'm inevitably going to collect as well. But I think just having, like, if someone tells you to, you know, piss off, sure, okay, but you piss off. I'm going calling my next person. Give them an Uno reverse card.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that.
All right, Miss Anna.
All right, guys, let's go make Wednesday great. If you're in Beaufort, I'm on my way down in a little while, and I'm sending you a text right now to tell you what we're going to be up to while I'm down there. So, yay, I can't wait to get to my favorite place. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye, everyone.